how does the beneficiary-centric system then handle multiple registrations for the same individual?
Sure. So you can still have multiple jobs offered to you, right? You can still have multiple employers who are sponsoring you for an H-1B visa. So say I am a candidate for the H-1B and I get a job from Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. That would be the dream, wouldn't it? But all three companies can absolutely sponsor me and enter me into the lottery. However, it's not that I get three chances. I actually just get my name entered in once. Each individual person is tied to data such as your date of birth, your social security number, your passport number. So you can't get three different entries into the lottery. You can get one entry, but you can have multiple job offers. And actually, the lowest of the wages is the one that they're going to use to determine the wage level. So if you have a 150K offer, 125K offer, 100K offer, the lowest 100K offer is what they would determine your wage level by.
Wow, wow. So they need to be very careful on when they are getting their name applied by
Yes.
their employers.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Trying to trick the system and enter multiple times is just not going to
Right, they're making it
happen.
completely foolproof.
Yes, as much as possible, right?
Because multiple job offers, usually we tend to understand that that will improve the beneficiary's chances, but
Yes.
doesn't seem so.
Now that is no longer an option. No matter how many job offers you have or how many employers who are willing to sponsor your H-1B visa, you only get one entry depending on your wage level. You could get a second entry depending on if you have a higher wage level. Now it's really just depending on how much you make. Are you a senior position? Are you an entry level position? So that's what's going to determine the possibility of you getting an H-1B visa rather than do I have five different job offers and five different entries. Mhm.
Okay. So what safeguards exist to prevent gaming or any collusion of employers by employers?
Sure. So I think we can start with looking at the employer requirement. I was talking about that briefly earlier, how employers now have to list in detail what exactly the job is, what the requirements of the job are, the beneficiary who they are sponsoring for the H-1B visa, what their educational qualifications are, and why they should be categorized as not only a specialty occupation, but how did their qualifications meet the requirements for this job? If an employer tries to categorize someone as a senior software engineer, you have to describe why exactly this beneficiary should be categorized as a senior software engineer. Do they have 10 years of experience? Do they have a PhD? Right? So employers have to describe in detail why someone should be categorized as a higher wage level. I think that's one way that USCIS can really weed out who's trying to game the system, like you said. In addition, you can try to put a fake salary, right? Say that maybe a 100K position, you can say, oh, we're going to pay them 200K. However, USCIS and our office has already been seeing this, especially in this administration, is being very strict about H-1B registrations and H-1B visas in general. So even after an applicant has been picked in the lottery and their H-1B has been approved, you can still receive a request for additional evidence, a notice of intent to revoke, meaning USCIS can reopen an approved H-1B visa and then look into it. If they see or suspect any fraud, they can revoke the approved visa. So the scrutiny is quite high for H-1Bs generally, even after it's been picked in the lottery and even after the petition has been approved. So I think those are some of the safeguards or some of the mechanisms USCIS is using to stop any kind of H-1B abuse or fraud.